My name is Ken Chan. I'm an artist, curator, and filmmaker currently based in Singapore and Amsterdam. So my formal training is in filmmaking, and then after graduation I worked with different artists, particularly video artists. And along the way, became a curator, and through that again becoming an artist where I focus on my own individual practice. And I always kind of talk about how being an artist allows me to explore ideas, but very often for going back to my filmmaking training and allows me to work with stories. And I think what ties together is also this idea of curating, where I collaborate with other people and other artists. And together they all kind of, I always talk about them as a triumvirate of relationships that kind of come together. In the last couple of years, I've been looking a lot more at the tropics, but specifically I think the endeavor is to look at it the tropics in a future tense, and how to connect my area of interest with at a wider sphere, not just in Singapore but also in Southeast Asia, and also maybe in many ways like a pan-tropical kind of notion, and how that might expand within our lifetime or beyond. I've been working on a series of projects that is based on observations that the tropics is actually expanding climatically. And a lot of these work take this fictional premise whereby in a far-flung future where the whole world has become tropical. And through that, very often I explore different ideas of how climate demarcation might also affect culture demarcation, how changes in one affects the other, and how the movement of people, and fundamentally the past, present, and future relationship between art and heat, which is very much, I guess, in a way, a cornerstone of my practice. I think in the last couple of years, I gained a certain level of momentum within my own practice, which I think for me meant that there was enough clarity in my own practice and enough clarity about what I wanted to do. I felt confident enough to say that I'm ready to apply for the IMPART Art Prize. I think in many ways, and in the hopes that I think in winning it, that it could also help me pave the foundation for what I want to do in the coming years for my practice. I think very often people think that as an artist you run on passion alone, but I think one of the things about being an artist that's very often, very seldom talked about is that you very often have to deal with doubts and insecurities. And I think what really helps with winning this prize is that it gives you a certain level of recognition, and beyond that, I think also motivation to know that you are on a right path in terms of your practice and what you're pursuing. So I think the cash prize accords me a certain level of sustainability and stability within my practice for the short to mid-term. And I think what's very specific about that is that it allows me to have a little bit more calm and time to kind of focus and just really give my practice time to kind of develop on its own organically. What it also allows me to do is to work more collaboratively within my projects. A lot of what I do very often involves working with other people, and that means a certain amount of commitment to other people's practices as well, beyond what I do on my own. And this cash prize would accord me a certain amount of flexibility in how I choose and work with all these different collaborators. I think for anyone that's thinking of pursuing a career in the arts, it's always good to be on the lookout for different avenues of support. And I think, on the practice level, look for your places of comfort, but don't ever let them become too much of a comfort zone.